In this lesson, we're going to talk about inheritance. Inheritance is one of the most important topics in object-oriented programming. First, let's take a look at what we have reached so far in our project. If you remember from last time, we reached the point that we created two separate classes, one called MetroBus and the other one called BindyBus. Each of them has its own properties, methods, getters and setters, and so on. Before we move on, I want you to take a look at these two classes, the BindyBus class and the MetroBus class, and see if there's anything that could be improved, something that does not feel right. So pause the video for a minute or two, take a look at these two classes and see from your point of view if there's anything that could be improved. If you say repetition, then you've got it right. Yes, there is a lot of code that is repeated between these two classes. Actually, they almost look the same. They have the same attributes, the same getters and setters, and also maybe the same methods. Nobody likes repeated code in software development because it costs a lot when you maintain the code afterwards. Because if you have two separate parts of the code that are repeated, if you are going to modify some part, you have to move to every other part, that is, you have the same code written in and you modify it. So what can we do about that? Does Java provide us something that we can use to avoid this kind of repetition? And the answer is yes. We can have one class and we can move all these repeated attributes and methods to this class, and then we can have this class inherits these attributes and behavior from the other class. Let's do that in code and then we take a look at our presentation. So I'm going to create a new class here. I will call it bus. And I will move all these attributes here in the method that I see they are repeated between the two classes, the MetroBus and the BindyBus. I will take this code out and paste it here. And then I will write the magic word here that this class extends the other class, the bus class. And if we run our program now, you will see that the code still works the same as we've done before. So this magic word here, extends, made this class, BindyBus, extends all attributes and behavior from the other class, which is the bus class. Let's do the same for the MetroBus, because we eventually need to remove the repetition, right? So I will do the same. I will remove everything here. And I will make this class also extends the bus class. Let's run the code again. Same thing. So we've put the code that we believe that is repeated between the two classes, which is our code here. And then we made this class, the BindyBus class and the MetroBus class, extends the bus class. This is inheritance. So inheritance enables one class to inherit the attributes and the methods of another class. And not just that, we can also extend, meaning that in the child classes, we can add our own methods and attributes, as we will see later. Let's take another example. Suppose that we have an HR system in which we have an employee class and a manager class. And as you can see here, they both share common characteristics like the ID, the name and the email, and the calculate salary. And also they have different methods, like in the employee class, we have an add bonus that's not in the manager class, and the hire and promote method in the manager class, and they are not in the employee class. Inheritance can help us again to avoid this repetition between the two classes. Let's see how can we do that. We can, for example, have an employee class here, and we put the common characteristics there, that is the ID, the name and the email, and also the calculate salary here to be in the base class. So these are the common things between the two classes. And the manager class will extend the employee class, and the full-time employee class will extend also the employee class. We call this relationship is a relationship, meaning that the full-time employee is an employee and the manager also is an employee. So we call this relationship is a relationship. Also, for the naming, in order not to confuse you, this employee class here, we can call it superclass, parent class, base class, and these classes here, the full-time employee or manager, we can call them subclasses, child classes, or derived classes.